Joining me is Mr. Hemant Jain, President, PHDCCI. Thank you very much, Hemant, for talking to us on Business Today, India Today Group. You've had a key important meeting today at the Ministry of Finance. Next budget is round the corner. We've had a lot of big announcements come in 2024. Tell me, what are the key highlights of the meeting that you've had?
I think the key highlight with the Revenue Secretary is I think he's very, very optimistic. Sanjay Malhotra Sahab had given us time for an hour. We continued for 2 hours. All the points raised by the committees were discussed. They are actually looking at making ease of business going to the next level. Of course, on numbers, we expect them to bring a larger budget outlay with 51 lakh crores. We expect the capital expenditure to increase from where it was to about 13 lakh crores. But the key thing which is most important right now is that each and every point which the industry had raised was discussed and was debated and taken forward. And I think we are making a representation to the government, and we are very hopeful that the government will listen, and the government is listening. I'm sure they will implement a few of them in the budget. India, which the ease of business has always been growing, I think from the past 5 or 10 years, and I'm sure with the current budget and with this kind of policy makers, we would be in a position where we'll be in the top 10 of the ease of doing business. This is what we are looking forward from the government.
Okay. Of course, coming in the last night's announcement where also, Donald Trump has taken over the President of the United States again, paves way for India and US relationship. Anything discussed in the meeting?
I think it was more discussed on technical matters, but yes, Donald Trump coming as the US President is a big boost for the Indian, and it's also a big boost for, I would say, the growth. The world is looking for a growth, world is looking for reforms, world is looking for better life. So that's what Donald Trump stands for, and I'm sure whatever is happening in US will be transformed into India also, because US is the #1 economy in the world, and it has a global impact, whatever happens in US. So, we see that in the meeting today, that was more proactive, more reforms, and more growth-oriented budget.
Okay. You did talk about the higher capex that could come in the next budget. In total, what is the kind of budget outlay that we are looking at, and any specific discussions on the direct and indirect tax norms, because you've met the Revenue Secretary?
I think we had about 50 points to be discussed, so I think you need to give me half an hour to discuss all the points.
The key highlights.
But I think what we are looking today is mainly, I think, like I said again, ease of business. There are certain tax anomalies which were discussed and appreciated, and the government and the Revenue Secretary said that he will evaluate all of them. And there are some things which they are saying that they will evaluate and come back to us. We need to give representation again to them. But I think the key factor here is that the government is listening and government is doing what is supposed to do. Among the 51 points which we had raised, I think a few of them, when we raised last year also, 4 of them found space in the budget. And I'm sure this year also some of the anomalies which are there will be taken away, especially in the indirect taxes.
Okay. In the indirect taxes, of course, GST is been something that government is trying to simplify for a long time. They've been looking at merger also of certain slabs in order to make it a uniformed exercise. Was that any of your proposals today?
Yes, I think there is, government is looking at uniformity, government is looking at reducing compliances, making it more and more customer friendly. So yes, it was discussed in length, and they are looking at changing some of the norms for making it easier for the taxpayer to submit their applications. Whenever there's appeals being filed, how do you resolve them at a faster pace? So all that was discussed, and I think we're very happy with the outcome of the meeting. I think it was very proactively taken, and I'm very, very encouraging.
Okay, one last quick question is on the comprehensive direct tax review that FM had announced in the last budget, that she's working on it. In fact, CBDT has also been working on it. Any updates in today's meeting that you discussed on it?
So I think the world is changing, and the world is changing fast. The new age has new requirements, and it was about time that the government reviewed this, and I think it was discussed, and I think it is on the fast track, and I'm sure the government will be implementing it very, very soon.
Tell me also if there were any discussions on the personal income tax. Always it's the middle class asked to get some kind of relief.
I think it's not an ask, it's a need today, because I think the middle class has a huge disposable income, and if you are looking at a higher growth, then we have asked for a reduction in the slab from a higher slab of 30% to 25%, and the Revenue Secretary has discussed, and he'll say that he will discuss with the team and come forward. But yes, I think it's not an ask. I think it's a need today for the Indian economy to bring that money in the hands of consumers, so the economy can go to the next level.
Okay, there were some relief in the last budget with standard reduction getting a slight hike, but slab change was something that the government was not very pro about, because they said the simplified by making it a process through the new regime?
So government has to do a balancing act between the deficit and the need of people. But I think time has come now that we have very good financial, the reserves are good. The economy is, I think, the best in the world. So I think the time has come to put some money in the hands of consumer and to give it the last push, which is required to make it the real Viksit Bharat, which the government has been talking about.
Thank you very much.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.